Yes, sir. Sir, can you? Only the speaker will be. Okay, no, sir. Because the mobile screen will not cover it. He is going to. You are not
You have the link. There is no link. It's an Indian link.
Link, sir, I have sent a mail, sir. Mail. You check the mail, sir. Today morning.
Should we start now, sir? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
This is the one. This one. This one is in. Send me in WhatsApp the link. But this is going from a YouTube.
The mail has not synced, sir. Otherwise, I have to send my message.
My mail to come. This is the RC mail.
YouTube link, I have YouTube link.
What is it?
No, sir. It's fetching.
What is it? It's not in your thing. Never send it in the WhatsApp or email.
I'll send.
Something you cannot continue.
Good morning, everyone. Present out here. Respected Senior Regional Directors, Dr. Yona Bhutia, Dean School of Professional Studies, Professor S.S. Mahapatra, HOD of Commerce Department, A.N. Sankar Sir, Assistant Coordinator, IGNOU, Dr. Engu Verma, Dr. Dilip Dorji, Section Officer, IGNOU, and faculty members and the staff of Department of Commerce and Tourism, Sikkim University, officers from the IGNOU Regional Center, Gangtok, and students. Today we are gathered here for the awareness program on e-waste management organized by the IGNOU Regional Center, Gangtok, in association with the Department of Commerce, Sikkim University, and Karo Sambhav Private Limited. Now, I would like to request our Dean Sir for Khada offering. Dr. Yona Bhutia, Senior Regional Director. Dr. Engu Verma, Regional Person to hold. First of all. Assistant Coordinator, IGNOU, Dr. Engu Verma. Anju Verma.
Yes.
Khada offering by Dr. Anju Verma to our Dean Sir, S.S. Mahapatra.
Let me offer Khada to our head of the department. We will have market has to change, the product has to change. Right? आगे सर.
Now I would like to request our Dean Sir for welcome address.
Good morning, everybody. Respected Senior Regional Director, Dr. Yona Bhutia, sir. And also we should congratulate him. He has become Senior Regional Director from 2014. Professor, Professor, Also our very respectable Dr. Shankar sir and esteemed resource person Mr. Subur Kumar Adhikar. He is from Karo Sambhav Private Limited. Officials from IGNOU, our also assistant Mr. Dr. Anji Burma, faculty from Commerce Department, Tourism Department, and I can see a lot of students from Commerce Department and Tourism Department. Thank you all for your presence, and at the same time I welcome you all to this beautiful program. This program is a awareness program on e-waste management. Sometimes I wonder to myself, I have many mobiles, old mobiles also, where to throw, if it is thrown. Sometimes it may be also misused also. Many people say that it can be the data also can be extracted. Now technology is there. What we should do? What we should do to our old laptops which is not working? Whether you should keep it in your house or you should throw it. Okay, so you are in a dilemma. Okay, because your data can be also recorded or somebody can extract your data and it can be misused. So because of that concept, and when sir told me that this opportunity is there, immediately I thought that our students also should get to know about this program. Is definitely useful to many of our teachers as well as to our students. Now you see this thing, even in electronic waste, not only this thing, the laptop and mobile, also other type of now this thing in India, Tesla car is coming, electric scooter has come, electric car also is coming. By the year 2030, all the vehicles will be electric vehicles. Now what happens when electric vehicles will be there, then the battery also, the battery has a one cycle, one life cycle. After the end of that cycle, what you will do, where to throw it, how to throw it, what are the procedures. Okay. So those are also will be there by our esteemed resource person. He is very young, but also is in a very good company, and his expertise is in that particular field. So we will be extremely happy to welcome you, esteemed resource person, school, and also all our officials, including our regional director, and everybody present here. Thank you for coming. Because we do not have enough time, we have to construct this program. Once again, I sincerely welcome you all to this program. And please disseminate this knowledge also to your young brothers and sisters. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request Senior Regional Director to have some word on this occasion.
Very good morning to all of you. Without wasting much time, I, on behalf of IGNOU Regional Center Gangtok, once again welcome you all, and I'd like to thank Professor Mahapatra for organizing this and having you all here. This is a very crucial and important topic that we are going to discuss. There are so many wastes that we need to dispose, biohazards, our own domestic waste, and even to be very frank, we are not very careful about disposing our own domestic waste also. Segregation is also not there, so flaw starts from at home only. So, and then when it comes to e-waste, we have no idea, we are least bothered. So long the garbage or the waste is out of our sight, it's out of our mind also, where it goes, what happens, its consequences, we are not concerned. But it is, many of us, of course, we try to do a bit. I really believe in that saying, think globally and act locally. And I'm sure through this program, through this talk, I'm sure we will have some idea and where we can also be part of, in helping dispose the e-waste in a manner that is required. I'm sure we all are new to this. I've heard a little bit about disposing e-waste and to be careful about it. I'm sure this will give us a broader perspective about how e-waste is to be disposed and managed. With this, without taking much time, I once again thank Karo, this organizer who has taken the initiative, and I hope you enjoy this talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request our HOD sir, Ian Sankar, for his words, some words.
Very good morning, and first and foremost I welcome our director sir from IGNOU, his colleagues, and then resource person from Karo Limited, and then our dean sir. Thank you for my dear students. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and our members from the school also, like IGNOU is there, and in the department also we have members of faculty. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak a few words on e-waste management. Actually, it's of very serious concern, the social responsibility and then environmental responsibility. Okay, these are all of very serious concern. So many e-wastes were there. We have been generating regarding these computers, disposal of computers and their peripherals which are not in use. So I think the company is doing something, and then like when we use the products, as sir already told, that we don't know where the life cycle ends, and then what do we do at the end. So I think some companies are taking initiative to recycle them, and then that generates revenue, at the same time employment, and eliminates carbon emissions to the atmosphere, or reduces GHG emissions or carbon footprints for the environment. So I think sir will be deliberating in details what is their company all about and how they are managing it. E-waste, when it comes to, so we have all the electronic peripherals that we are using. You may have SIM card, or you may have a phone, you may have a computer, laptops, or every other. So I think it will be very important for us to know how the revenue model is, how the cost model is, and then what they are doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to hand over the session to Sir Subodh, in charge Gangtok office of Karo Sambhav Private Limited. Thank you.
The Department of Commerce, Sikkim University, as well as all the faculty members and all the students present. So today we'll be discussing in brief about e-waste management. We'll be discussing about the hazards of electronic waste, and we'll be focusing on what is our responsibility towards e-waste and how we can recycle it properly. So we'll begin with the presentation here. So firstly, I'd like to start off with a question. Have any one of you heard about e-waste or have knowledge of e-waste? Yes, so most of us know that electronic waste which run out of their life or reach the end of their life and are discarded or no more in use, so they are referred to as e-waste or electronic waste. So here we have a chart of different electronic waste with their average life mentioned. So for example, if we take a look here, so smartphones have an average life of 5 years. But since the technology is so fast and upgrading in such a pace that I don't think any one of us here actually use the same smartphone for a 5 year or even more than 3 years. So the maximum time I found out here over a period of different inspections and questions is that most of us will use our smartphone maximum for a period of 2 to 3 years, or even in rare cases we find someone using it for 5 years. So I'd like to begin with this small point that apart from discarding our e-waste in a proper manner, we should also consider that we do not procure so much electronic items in a pace or in a hurry that we actually generate more electronic waste than they actually are. So we should try to utilize our electronic devices till the end of their life, till the maximum time we can, so that there is less electronic waste generated. So we will take a look at what we do to our electronic waste most of the times. So either we keep it in a cupboard or a drawer. So there might be several mobile phones, chargers or earphones lying around in our houses in cupboards or drawers. So if we store them for quite some time, then we may sell it to local scrap collectors or local dealers, or we throw it in the dustbin. So what happens to our electronic waste after we throw them into the dustbin? So it often lands up on informal sectors. So informal sector means the local scrap collectors, the kabadi walas who actually come search for scrap at our houses. So they collect the scrap and they take it for informal recycling. So in the process of informal sector, there are 2 out of 3 workers who suffer from respiratory problems because they don't follow a proper scientific method. They don't have safety equipments. So there is a huge number of child labor involved in this sector. So there were several research done in different states of India through our company. So one such instance in Delhi where there were number of various child laborers involved in this informal processing of electronic waste. So most of them have respiratory problems. They are suffering from various diseases, but they are least bothered or least cared for. Apart from child labor, there are various women workers who are also involved in this informal sector of recycling. They are underpaid, going through several health issues, but still it's a matter of concern that is less eyed by any government authorities as well, because they too have a claim that there are several of such informal sectors working, but they have tried and controlled some informal workplace also, but every time they shut down one informal sector, they often start up in another colony or just a place nearby. So it's also a problem for government authorities to keep an eye on. So as you can see here, the electronic waste has various effects on environment such as groundwater pollution, soil acidification and air pollution. So when we throw our electronic waste into the dustbin, for example, if I throw a laptop into a dustbin or dump it into, say for example, into a GMC vehicle, so what they do is that they take away the waste and they just dump it in the dumping yard. So after it is lying around in the dumping yard for some time, it slowly starts to release the toxins. The toxins are the chemicals present in the board of the device. So what happens, the toxin with rainfall or mixes and is absorbed by soil, it acidifies the soil. Then it enters the groundwater. So after it enters the groundwater, it basically reaches into our food chain through the water being used for irrigation or cultivation practices. Apart from that, burning of electronic waste in order to procure precious metals from the board, the direct impact on air is that it pollutes the air through all the smokes of chemicals involved in them. So as we have learned that unscientific disposal and recycling of e-waste can lead to severe impact on environment and human health. So here is a short story of a place in Japan of a company named Chiso Corporation Limited. So this is the story of Minamata in Japan. So in 1932, there was a company named Chiso Corporation Limited that was basically a LCD panel manufacturer. So the company was manufacturing LCD panels in a village nearby Minamata in Japan. So the company started to dump their waste into the nearby river. So the major portion of chemicals that was dumped into the river, mercury was a major source, which led to degradation of aquatic life in the river. or in the lakes nearby. Slowly it started impacting human health as well. So various people started falling sick, and in a fast pace, and in a short span of time, over 1,784 people lost their life to the disease. It was incurable. So at earlier stage, they were unable to find out the source of diseases. So what caused the disease? So there was no proof. Since and again, as the research carried out, it was found that it was occurring due to the mercury absorbed by various fish and the water polluted through it. So later the company's operation was banned, but till the time the ban was done, there were already 1,784 lives lost due to disease and negligence. So we're discussing about health impacts. So here are several health issues that can be found. So lung cancer or asthmatic bronchitis, brain damage and kidney failure are the basic and the most dangerous diseases that are found in people working in the informal sector as well. So these are the diseases that could occur through various chemical sources present in them, such as viral causes, lung cancer and asthmatic bronchitis. So there are the chemicals that cause brain damage and kidney failure. So in case of brain damage, there have been cases reporting that people slowly start to be paralyzed. So before being paralyzed, they are unable to function on a normal basis, like doing day-to-day tasks like brushing, wearing our clothes, or even remembering one's own name is a difficult task. So in that process, the functioning of our brain is almost zero. The capacity of our brain is reduced to zero, and we are unable to function on that manner. So here we'll take a look at the e-waste generation across the globe. So over 53.6 million tons of e-waste is generated in 2019. So it was calculated to be over the weight of 5,000 Eiffel Towers, and the amount in 2021 reached 57.4 million metric tons. So the pace at which electronic waste is growing is very rapid. Even if we take a look at our own household, so if we take a look at our own home, for example, 5 years before now, the number of electronic equipments that we had in our home and the number of electronic equipments that we have today. So we could see a difference and a vast amount of change in those electronic equipment and our dependency on electronic items and gadgets. So the electronic waste generation is at a very fast pace, and the year from 2020 to 2030, this decade is particularly taken as the decade of action. So if we do not implement our practices of responsible recycling, if we do not provide awareness at a mass level, then it will be too late for us to act after 2030. We will be left behind very far in order to be able to resolve the issues of electronic waste and the pollution that it is doing. So if you take a look at the index of country ranking on generation of electronic waste, so after China and USA, India is currently in third position. In 2019, India ranked as the third largest producer of e-waste in the world. So before that, India was in the fourth position, Japan was in third position. Since Japan had been aware of electronic waste and its hazards, so Japan had started practices of responsible recycling much earlier and in a mass manner, that it got down to the ranking of fourth, where India took place and is currently sitting at the third position in terms of electronic waste generation. So there are various stakeholders that are continuously putting efforts on managing electronic waste generation and ensuring proper recycling of it. So if we look at some major stakeholders here, include Central Pollution Control Board, the State Pollution Control Board, urban local bodies like GMC we have in here, recyclers, dismantlers, producers, both consumers and the consumers. These are all the stakeholders that are involved in this sector. So we'll discuss in brief in coming slides. So we'll discuss first about responsibilities of a consumer. So consumer being us, the end users, who we are the consumers. the end users. So what do we do with our electronic waste? So we often at times just keep it stored in our houses and handle it to informal sectors. But what we should be doing is with the accessibility of internet and facilities that we have, we could take our time to browse for any collection center, any take back channels, or any producers that are involved in e-waste collection in return for new product or some discount in that sort. So we can always try and find out those possibilities and hand over our e-waste to authorized take back channels or collection centers or recyclers only, rather than giving it to scrap collectors or informal dealers. So we'll talk about bulk consumer next. So just like the consumer, bulk consumer is referred to any organization, government, private or semi-government, that has 20 or more employees and an annual turnover of over 1 crore. So as per the Electronic Waste Management Rule of 2016, it is mandatory for all the bulk consumers to give their electronic waste to only government authorized take back channels, vendors or collection systems. So they cannot give their e-waste simply to any scrap collectors or unofficial like dealers. So they need to hand over to authorized take back channel or producers. They need to maintain record in Form 2, just like we file our annual tax returns. So electronic waste returns should also be filed with respected pollution control board or respected state authorities or central pollution control board and submit the annual report to them. So the next point we'll discuss about extended producer responsibility. So we have discussed the responsibility of consumers, we have discussed the responsibility of organizations and institutions as well. So what about the responsibilities of those who manufacture the product or those who sell the product, manufacture and sell it? So for the producer there is a specific policy that says they need to source the e-waste that is being generated. So a target is given to them, all the companies, by Central Pollution Control Board. So they need to fulfill the target and show the collection of electronic waste. So in order of that, there are various producer responsibility organizations. Producer responsibility organization like our company, Karo Sambhav Private Limited, works on behalf of various producers to fulfill their compliances and collect materials and provide awareness sessions on their behalf along with coordination with Central Pollution Control Board, so that this helps to put back the recycled materials into manufacturing. It encourages producers to design for environmental friendly product and practice it in their daily business and enable a circular economy. So rather than following a linear economy in which we just take the materials or resources from the earth through mining, we make product and we dispose them off. So there is no benefit after it reaches the end of their life. Whereas in circular economy, we mine the product from earth, we use the product, we hand over it to recyclers, dismantlers or take back systems. We recycle the electronic waste so that various metals can be extracted from them. So metals such as gold, silver and palladium are some precious metals that are extracted from the components of electronic boards and circuits. So this metal could again be put back in the system of manufacturing, which decreases the burden on earth for extensive mining. So mining is also a very huge problem, and this term also is referred to as urban mining. The process of mining all the metals from electronic waste which are found mostly in urban cities or urban settlements. So we'll talk about producer responsibility organization. Just like I had mentioned previously, our company Karo Sambhav Private Limited is a producer responsibility organization certified by Central Pollution Control Board. So such organizations or producer responsibility organizations take the mandate on behalf of producers for creating awareness and fulfilling the collection part. So we discuss on कैसे करो संभव, how can we make it possible? So in order to make it possible for electronic waste to be recycled properly, we need to identify the electronic products that needs to be recycled. Apart from that, firstly we should be able to segregate electronic items that could be repaired and reused and the electronic waste. The waste that actually cannot be repaired, that actually cannot be used again, rather than just, if our laptop is being damaged, rather than just throwing it away and buying a new one, we should focus on repairing it. We should try to repair it and use it for as much time as we can use further, so that we do not generate electronic waste needlessly. So after we segregate and identify the electronic product, we should reach out to brands or check for collection points or take-back systems in our locality. So once we identify the brands that have take-back system, so there are some brands, actually I've seen only one brand, that is MI. They have e-waste bin at their service center, whereby they pay certain amount to the customers. So we should identify such brands or take-back systems, and we should give our electronic waste to them. We could always visit a collection center and dispose our electronic waste nearby. So for collection center, we have our collection center here in Swastik, Upper Botur. So there have been several local people, after we have delivered some awareness session, I have seen people carrying refrigerators and bringing it to our offices and not expecting anything in return as well. So there have been a huge shift of mindset in people through our awareness campaigns and awareness sessions. And I have seen that people want to be responsible towards environment. I have seen that people always desire to be eco-friendly practices and live a sustainable way of life. But the accessibility and the lack of knowledge leads to us being a bit reckless and throwing our e-waste at certain times. So this was a very good result that we got. So here is a picture of few collections that we have carried out from various states in India, and we are planning one such awareness drive and collection van system here in Gangtok as well. We are also very soon offering doorstep pickup services, whereby you could drop a message to us or call us in our toll-free number, provide your address and give full details about the waste you have. So we could schedule a collection drive and we can always do a doorstep pickup service. So Karo Sambhav is one of the first and a leading organization in electronic waste management. So it comprises various enterprises, consumers and government bodies, and work for a cohesive e-waste movement and enabling a circular economy in the process, which can generate mass employment and revenue without polluting the environment. So with this, we have come to the end of the session, and now in the next part, I would like for a question and answer session, whereby if you have any doubts or you need any clarification in that matter, so I will be happy to take some questions here.
Do we have any outlets here who are collecting this?
Yes, sir. We have a collection center here in Swastik, Upper Botur. Fine, sir. Here it is not there, but we can always schedule a pickup drive with institutes, organizations, and we do collections as well. And for bulk consumer, as we have previously talked, for institute, colleges and other offices, we have a payback system as well. So we do pay a certain amount and do the collection. And apart from that, we also fulfill all the loop, not just take the material, but we also assist in filing annual returns, and we also provide with proper documentation and video proofs.
What type of documentation will you give? Suppose I give my mobile to you.
Yes. So as per the norms, there is a Form 6 that needs to be filled. So we'll provide a copy of Form 6 to you, and we'll have a copy of Form 6 with us. So, and after the end of financial year, if you would like to file the annual returns for your electronic waste, then we could assist in that way also.
Okay, that system is there?
Yes, yes, sir.
Is it necessary for a user to file this?
As per the e-waste management rule, it is mandatory for the bulk consumer to file an e-waste returns. But we haven't seen the process being followed in any of the organizations and institutes we have been so far.
In any country, disposal tax is there. So maybe 20%, 30%, then up to 40% could be there. So if you not use it. That's why they want to sell free of cost. I want to sell my product, zero.
Also, sir, as Saurabh previously talked about data privacy and data theft, so it being a major concern, we are being trusted on that as being a government authorized body and being one of the pioneers in this system. So we do provide videographic evidence of your material being destroyed at the recyclers. Yes, sir, we do provide certificates also after collection, certificate of collection, and we do also provide videographic evidence of material being destroyed at the recycler.
After that, what exactly you do? You give
We give it to recyclers, the government authorized recyclers for recycling.
So, beside this collection center, is there any management center specific in Gangtok or in Sikkim?
No, we do not have any management center here. Apart from that, I think there is an office of NILEC who are taking the initiative as well, training on segregation and dismantling of electronic waste. But we only have a collection center here.
any questions from students?
You have not started door-to-door collection, not yet.
Yeah, we are not yet doing the door-to-door
Any
staff
other-
collection.
any
But
other-
what we are doing currently is that if there is a request from a particular colony or an area, so if there is a request of 3 or 5 people requesting for collection of the waste, then we could schedule a collection drive for a particular location and we will do that. So one can always visit our website and get a toll-free number and connect with us for any collection drive or disposing the electronic waste.
In the process, you earn some profit also.
Yes, sir.
What exactly you do?
So, sir, this is basically a business model in which it enables circular economy through generation of employment and revenue as well. So, in the process, we do earn some profit as well. So, that is being basically utilized during our logistics. So, the logistic cost is very high. So, once the material is being identified at a certain point, we need to hire a vehicle for transportation services, we need laborers, and from here also, after collecting and storing it in our warehouse, we need to transport it again back to the recycler. So for that process, there is certain amount that we charge from the recyclers as well. So any questions from the students side?
Yes.
If you are not clear about how you can dispose your electronic waste or where you can, so you can ask questions on that. I hope every one of us have some electronic waste lying around in our house or even in our rooms somewhere. So if you have any,
For an individual, there is offer going on. You leave this old mobile and company will provide a new mobile. So in that process, what happens, when we provide this old mobile, some residual value is paid to the customer. In the process, when they buy back, residual value is paid. Suppose for a mobile of 10,000, when you give our old mobile, we have to pay only 5,000. That means for 5,000, the old mobile is sold, return to the, we can say, seller. So in the process, when you collect this center, this e-waste, will you pay back to the customer?
yes sir, we do have a payback scheme, just like I previously mentioned, but it depends on the quantity of electronic waste and the feasibility as per our range of transportation and labor charges. If we have to spend 3,500 or more, suppose just for picking up of 10-15 kg of items, then it will not be feasible for us, We cannot spend from our end just for the transportation and labor charge and collect small quantity of items. But if the collective movement should be done. So in the process, if you have some items in your home, you could always send the message to your neighbor or some relatives nearby, so that you could collectively accumulate all the electronic waste at one place, will come and pick up from your location and will pay accordingly. So that can be done, sir. Also the brands, when they implement a take back system, it is actually quite feasible for them and quite affordable to do so, because they always have a retailer outlet or service center nearby So in the process, the customer goes to their collection point or to their retail outlet, they hand over the product there itself. So in the process, many of the electronic items that are in use or functional are being paid handsomely. If your electronic item is a waste, then they will not accept your electronic gadgets for return or return policy. So I have just checked the terms and conditions for one such from Flipkart, I guess it was. So there was an offer going on. So I have read their terms and conditions. So it was specifically mentioned that depending on the condition of your mobile phone, they will pay accordingly. So if your condition is in brand new, they will pay slightly more price. If the condition is being simply having some scratches on the body or screen, then the price is being cut down significantly. And if the gadget is not in use, there wasn't any mention of payback or the exchange offer for that.
As you mentioned earlier that such collection center is in Fostik as well, don't you think it will be more convenient to have such centers in a town itself, like in a entry mark somewhere?
No, it's
If you are looking for a mass people.
apart from just being able to reach to the mass people, it's also about the feasibility and proper compliances fulfillment, such as for our compliances, we need a place with proper parking, so whereby a big truck could fit in for loading and unloading purposes. So, and we need a ground or a road level working place. So, as per our compliances and fulfillment of all those criteria, we could always find a better place and shift it to other places also.
So you just stick your account.
Yes, so there we have easy accessibility of parking and big space in front, so that there is no problem of loading and unloading. Any more questions? I'd like to provide you all with some feedback forms. So I'd like your kind feedback on how you can improve, and if you have got anything of value today, so you could always give a feedback. So with this, I'd like to end my short presentation, and I hope that the presentation could bring in something of value and some resourceful knowledge towards electronic waste management, and hopefully we'll be able to implement anything that we have learned for a better future and a sustainable and a green future. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sir Subodh, for such an informative session. Now I would like to call upon Sir Dilip Kumar Georgi, Section Officer IGNOU, for the Thanksgiving.
Good afternoon to one and all. At the end, this is a Thanksgiving. I don't want to make much longer, but I want to add some more points out here. Because of the fact, this the program is an outcome of the brainchild of IGNOU because of the situation it has been created in IGNOU. IGNOU has accumulated huge waste. In the process of disposal of the e-waste, IGNOU has been working on it. So in the process, we came across this Karo Sambhav, so we thought that why can't we organize this program so that everybody who is dealing with the e-waste be made aware of how to handle it. So at the end, what I want to say is that purchasing e-waste, this electronic device, when we purchase, it comes with a huge responsibilities. Actually, it comes in the youth responsibilities. This session was very much informative, and we get to know that there are a lot of responsibilities attached with it, because when we use this electronic device, we use at home, we use at office, we use everywhere. Nowadays, the work of a human being has become very much easy because of these electronic devices, and everybody is having this electronic device. Due to this COVID situation, even a child in the nursery school, they are also having this electronic device. So when we get this electronic device, he has correctly told that it comes at the cost of health of the nature and cost of health of whoever is living in this world. Because when I said it comes with the youth responsibility, it means that when we dispose it in an irresponsible way, that means it is going to harm us indirectly. Several ways it has been explained. So it goes to pollute our nature, water, air, soil, everything. And this soil, water and air indirectly harms our health. So it comes with a huge responsibility for all of us to make best use of this electronic device for the time it is purchased. Suppose if it is purchased for 10 years, we have to make use for 10 years. So that the next device we do not purchase within that time. But after the life of device is over for us, then the problem starts. And to resolve this problem, Government of India, Ministry of Environment and Forest, they have devised rule, act and regulation for disposal. And it is mandatory for this organization, government offices, bulk users to dispose it in a proper manner. Similarly, it also comes with the responsibilities to the manufacturer also. Take it back. As he has mentioned, this MI store, this mobile store, they have one take back system in the Gangtok. Similarly, all the manufacturer who is dealing with this e-waste is necessary to take it back so that it does not fall to the nature. Number two, to oversee all those activities is state government, union territories, they have the system in place. We are not much aware of it. In the Sikkim, it is Pollution Control Board, which regulates into this. And for your kind information, the government of Sikkim in 2014-15, they have taken an initiative for e-waste collection. There is a gazetted notification. So they have designated Gangtok Municipal Corporation as an e-waste collection center. So anybody who is having this e-waste, say government organization, private organization or individual also, they can hand it over to the Gangtok Municipal Corporation, which is there at Devali. So in that process, what happens if there is a government organization which has to return it to the GMC, they have to first go to the IT department, government of Sikkim, and the IT department will receive the application. They will come and verify on the spot. This is what IGNOU has done. They will come and verify whatever e-waste is there. So they will verify and give a technical report. And based upon the technical report, we have to submit to the GMC, Gangtok Municipal Corporation. And this Karo Sambhav is one party which can take it back. And it is not necessary, as we have gone to the department and department given us this certificate, and they also mentioned it is not mandatory for the organization who is getting technical certificate to go to the GMC. For the fact that for organization like ours, it has to be disposed through tendering process. So in the tendering process, we have to invite the recycler or correct person. So in that process, what we learn is this Karo Sambhav is one of the agencies. So what I want to concern and tell you is that this e-waste is comprised of these batteries, basically batteries which gives leads, so many things which pollute the environment. It is very much poisonous, and so many other accessories like laptop, computer, cable, wire, so many things. It comes under the e-waste. The e-waste, the Department of Ministry of Environment and Forest, they have made it term. This e-waste is a hazardous waste. So as you have seen in the presentation, it is going to damage our health and it is going to damage the environment. Therefore it is called as a hazardous waste. So it is a serious problem in the ever-growing industrialization world and fast-moving technology which is using all the electronic devices. So I would not like to make much more elaborate into this. This is all about what we have learned. So in the process we got this information that this Karo Sambhav is there. So we are here for the session. And to begin my last vote of thanks, I would like to thank our regional director, senior regional director, IGNOU sir, because when these Karo Sambhav people were there, he was very much eager to, yes, we should have this because it is for everybody to know. It is not for you and me or the office people to know. It is everybody who is using e-waste. They should be aware that this e-waste is a menace to the environment. So we are very much thankful to regional director for this permission. We are also thankful to Professor S.S. Mahapatra sir, Dean of School Professional Studies, Sikkim University, for taking initiative in collaboration, and thank you to our Professor A.N. Sarkar sir also, the head of the Commerce Department, for logistics. And most importantly, I would like to thank Mr. Subodh Adhikari, who is the resource person here. He has enlightened us beautifully and several aspects. He has some videos to be presented, but he is not able to present because of time shortage. And last but not least, I would like to thank by name Anju Madam, Rakesh sir, some more faculties, I don't know their name, tourism faculties from tourism department, faculties, other faculties from commerce department, colleagues, Jyoti Prakash Mahanta, who is making all the this presentation live on our YouTube channel. Thank you to all the students from the commerce department, tourism department, and IGNOU. Thank you once and again. Thank you to this MC, a beautiful girl who has made this. Thank you so much. We'll end with a good note that we'll have one tea and samosa. Please join us.
Okay, thank you. Incidentally, he was our student. He was studying.